They say they slept with half of Hollywood. Forget their roles. Their real lives were more scandalous than any movie. We're naming all the men, from presidents and mobsters to the rock idols whose careers and marriages they destroyed while living by their own rules. Hollywood's first it girl lived as fast as her career took off. Officially, she was engaged to actors Gilbert Roland and director Victor Fleming, but her real affairs were far more numerous. Her lovers included the biggest stars of the era: Gary Cooper, who later said she ate men for breakfast, John Gilbert, Bela Lugosi, and Frederick March. But her reputation was built not on facts, but on shocking rumors. The most infamous one, which destroyed her career, was the legend that she single-handedly serviced the entire USC football team, including a young John Wayne. The press accused her of orgies, drug use, and relationships with women, turning her from a symbol of 1920s freedom into a fallen woman. Although many accusations were fabricated, her open and indiscriminate sexuality in puritanical America led to her exile from Hollywood. Mae West built her career on the image of a woman who collects men. Her only marriage to Frank Wallace was a sham from her youth. She lived her entire life free, openly declaring her love for young and muscular men, especially boxers. Her long-term companion was actor and bodybuilder Paul Novak, who was 30 years her junior. Legends claimed she had a huge mirror above her bed to not miss a single detail. She made no secret of having a constant stream of lovers whom she changed at her discretion. Unlike other actresses ruined by such rumors, Mae encouraged them herself, turning her insatiable appetite into her trademark and proving that a woman could control her sexual reputation if she did it with wit and humor. The Iron Lady of Hollywood, Joan Crawford, was known for her insatiable appetite not just for fame but for men. She was married 4 times to Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Franchot Tone, Philip Terry, and Pepsi Cola CEO Alfred Steele. But her extramarital affairs were far more impressive. The most famous was her long-term, passionate affair with Clark Gable, which never ended in marriage due to a ban from the MGM studio. Biographers claim that Spencer Tracy, Kirk Douglas, Yul Brynner, and many others were in her bed. Her rivalry with Bette Davis began over a man, Franchot Tone. Furthermore, there were persistent rumors of her bisexuality. She was linked to women, with Marilyn Monroe being the most famous name on that list. Joan didn't wait for a man to conquer her. She chose her target, and almost always got it. Marlene Dietrich lived by the principle of absolute freedom while in an official but open marriage to Rudolf Sieber. This allowed her to have affairs with the most famous people of her time. The list of her confirmed and alleged lovers is staggering. Actors Jean Gabin, James Stewart, Yul Brynner, and John Gilbert. Writers Eric Maria Remarque and Ernest Hemingway, and politician John F. Kennedy. She was also linked to Frank Sinatra, but what made her unique was her open bisexuality. She had passionate affairs with writer Mercedes D'Acosta, who was also Greta Garbo's lover, singer Edith Piaf, and, according to rumors, Greta Garbo herself. Dietrich did not separate love by gender, taking everything life had to offer and ignoring prejudices. Elizabeth Taylor is the queen of Hollywood marriages and scandals. She was married 8 times to 7 men: Conrad Hilton, Michael Wilding, Mike Todd, Eddie Fisher, Richard Burton, twice, John Warner, and Larry Fortensky. Her life was a series of love dramas. She stole Eddie Fisher from his wife, actress Debbie Reynolds, becoming the most condemned woman in America. But that was nothing compared to her affair with Richard Burton on the set of Cleopatra. Their relationship, which began while both were married, became a global scandal condemned by the Vatican. Their life together was filled with passion, alcohol, diamonds, and public fights. Besides her husbands, she was linked to Frank Sinatra, Peter O'Toole, and billionaire Howard Hughes, who tried unsuccessfully to marry her. Marilyn Monroe, the ultimate sex symbol of the 20th century, was married 3 times, to James Dougherty, baseball legend Joe DiMaggio, and playwright Arthur Miller. However, her myth was created by her alleged affairs. The most famous and tragic story is her connection to the Kennedy brothers. It is believed she had an affair with President John F. Kennedy, and after he ended it, with his brother Robert. This dangerous connection, many believe, led to her mysterious death. In addition, her list of lovers, confirmed by various sources, includes Marlon Brando, Frank Sinatra, Yves Montand, director Elia Kazan, and even, according to rumors, Joan Crawford. Her life was a desperate search for love that led her to the beds of America's most powerful and dangerous men. French icon Brigitte Bardot lived by the motto of free love long before it became mainstream. She was married 4 times, including to director Roger Vadim and millionaire Gunter Sachs. But her real life was a series of passionate affairs, which she had on almost every film set. She left Vadim for her co-star Jean-Louis Trintignant. She had high-profile relationships with singers Serge Gainsbourg, Sacha Distel, and Gilbert Bécaud, as well as actors Sammy Frey and Warren Beatty. Unlike Hollywood stars, Bardot did not hide her escapades. She lived under the glare of the paparazzi, and all of France followed her romances, which were as bright and brief as camera flashes. She was a symbol of sexual liberation without limits or conventions. Jane Fonda's life is a story of transformations through men. Her first husband, French director Roger Vadim, drew her into the world of European bohemia and sexual experimentation, including threesomes and open relationships. After him, she married political activist Tom Hayden, which marked her transition to anti-war activism. Her third marriage, to media mogul Ted Turner, turned her into the queen of corporate America. Outside of her marriages, she also had affairs with actors like Donald Sutherland and Warren Beatty. Fonda openly admitted that for a long time, she defined herself through the men she loved, and each of her unions was not just a romance, but a complete immersion into her partner's world and ideology. A symbol of the 90s, Pamela Anderson became famous for her tumultuous romances with rock stars. Her marriage to Mötley Crüe drummer Tommy Lee went down in history due to their infamous stolen sex tape, which became one of the first viral videos of its kind. After him, she married another rocker, Kid Rock. Her list of boyfriends and husbands also includes Poison guitarist Bret Michaels, producer John Peters, their marriage lasted 12 days, surfer Kelly Slater, Swedish model Marcus Schenkenberg, and French soccer player Adil Rami. Her personal life, full of impulsive decisions and relationships with bad boys, made her a constant tabloid fixture and solidified her status as the ultimate sex symbol of her era, whose intimate life became public property. Drew Barrymore, Hollywood's wild child, lived through a turbulent youth full of experiments. At 19, she married bar owner Jeremy Thomas, but the marriage lasted only 2 months. Her second marriage, to comedian Tom Green, was just as brief. She spoke openly about her bisexuality and was rumored to have had relationships with both men and women. Her boyfriends included Hole guitarist Eric Erlandson, actors Luke Wilson, Justin Long, and Jamie Walters, and the Strokes drummer Fabrizio Moretti. Her youth was a whirlwind of parties, scandals, and short but intense romances, which was a rebellion against the system that made her a star in early childhood. Legends or cautionary tales. Their names are carved into Hollywood history not just for the roles they played, but for the rules they broke. They loved passionately, lived loudly, and paid a high price for it. But one thing is for sure, without them, Hollywood's story would be a lot more boring.